We finally arrived. This is the last video of this series, and if you've been following along, you know we've covered everything from equipment to scripting to editing, but here's where most creators fail, and this is what's going to be covered today. They create great content and then completely botch the upload process. Well, today you're going to learn exactly how you optimize your YouTube uploads so that all your hard work actually pays off, and there is a right way to do this. We're talking thumbnails, tags, end screens, cards, and the promotion strategy that can make or break your channel's growth. This is where all the work comes full circle. So if you've missed the previous 4 parts, watch this video first, but then go back and watch them after, and I'll have them linked up in the description. Now, let me pass it to Kyle.
We have finally arrived. This is the last day of the series, the last week of the series. And so this is where all of our work comes full circle. But at this point, we've talked about equipment. We've talked about coming up with video topics and ideas. We've talked about how to even script your videos or outline your videos so you can create kind of the most optimized videos. Editing and how you can look at the editing process, whether you're going to do it yourself and kind of learn that side of it, or if you're going to go and hire, and how you can find people. Even when you find people, you still got to do a little bit of work with them to get them to do it the way you want it. So it's not going to be perfect from the get-go. But that leads us to today, where we're going to talk a little bit about picking up the process from where you've gotten your video back, whether you edited it yourself, you're not editing it at all, or you got the editor has given you your final footage. And now what you do when you put it on YouTube and how you optimize it and all of that good stuff. So we're going to cover that because I'm going to talk about just basically now that you've got videos on here, talking about the upload process and what to do next. So let me share my screen again. When I go to upload a video, I'm going to upload one right now. All right. So here's a video. So you start with this screen here. Right. And I've already got my template, right? Description template with all my links. So hopefully you guys are making use of that. If there's anything that you're pitching or saying or links and you want it to all be the same way, I would have that. And then the only thing I ever change is my about section here. Or I can also put in, there's other blog posts that I got or videos. I can change all of these down here. So that's it. So I've got kind of these sections set up. But everything else, this is all the same all the time.
How did you template the YouTube description?
That's the upload default. If in your settings on the upload defaults, you can add in like your description upload default. All right. So then obviously creating a thumbnail, I'm not really going to get into that like on this video. You can either pay for a thumbnail. Usually it runs you $10 or so, $7 to $10 per thumbnail. If you find somebody on Fiverr, or if you get somebody on Upwork, that's about the going rate for a decent thumbnail, for a good thumbnail, I would say. Or you can, of course, create your own on like Canva or something like that. The biggest thing that I'll tell you, and right now I'm split testing like a lot of my thumbnails, is that the simple thumbnails are not always bad. Like these thumbnails here, these ones, like sometimes these are harder to make. These ones with just like a bunch of text can actually do very well anyways. So like you see a lot of them, they're actually winning, right? Like winning. And then these are super simple to make, right? Like it's just like a headshot of you with some text over it. And so I know we've talked about thumbnails before in a previous video. Thumbnail, get a good thumbnail, put that there. Playlists, I would definitely utilize playlists. I don't get a lot of traction from playlists. The best way playlists work is literally if you have videos that are like in step with each other, because they would want to watch the first video, but then they would need to watch the second, and then they'd need to watch the third. That's when playlists are like really good. When you're just using them to like almost be like a category for the videos, but they don't need to watch from one to the next, they're okay. Like it's better than maybe not doing anything, but you won't find as much success as if you have a playlist where it's like you have to watch all of these through for it to all make sense. Not made for kids. Hit the show more. You're going to come down here and you're going to want to add tags. I don't know about you guys, but I use TubeBuddy. I love TubeBuddy just for tagging purposes, like specifically. So like this video is Fathom versus EXP. So I'll put that in there. And then luckily, this has already given me some suggestions. So I can just say plus, what is EXP? EXP Realty Review, EXP Explained. I might just put something like Fathom and see like what suggestions it gives me. Fathom Realty versus EXP Realty. I basically just start going like through them there. And the nice thing too with this, you can also do about like keyword score. So then you can see some more if there's any relevant ones. And I try and maximize and use all 500 characters if I can. So put all 500 characters there. Usually I'll put a tag in there for my name, Kyle Handy. Not all the time they're going to listen and for sure do that. So that's tagging. Tagging is important. You'll hear some people say, oh, they don't use that or whatever. It definitely is important. Your description, I didn't really talk too in depth about this, but it is important, is that in the description, whatever you put for like the first like 5 sentences you should spend some time doing it. Don't just put affiliate links as the first things. Like YouTube does read your description, and that's like a ranking signal. You want to make sure that especially like what your main keyword that you want to rank for is somewhere in your description, right? So like in this video, I share the differences and similarities between Fathom Realty and EXP Realty, right? See, I'll cover the 5 main things that you need to know. And so basically, and then I'll probably try and even say something about Fathom, EXP are 2 of the fastest growing brokerages right now. Blah, 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 right? Just so that way now I've said it twice, Fathom and EXP, Fathom Realty and EXP, or maybe I even say versus EXP, so that way I name it exactly the same. So I'll put 4 to 5 sentences in the beginning and then the rest of my stuff there. So that's how I work that. Beyond that, so then the other part that I want to talk about are adding cards and adding your end screen. So obviously some of you guys already have been doing end screens, so y'all know how that works. But like for me, I'll say add. I use this template here. So this one automatically goes for my latest video. So I've always used this one. So right now, this isn't like an edited video, so it's not going to show up here. But if this was an edited video and I had already imported my Canva end screen template into it. So let's see here. Where's my end screen template? Right there. So like this will be the last 15 seconds of my video. So instead of a black screen, it'll be this for 15 seconds. And then basically whenever I choose to add an end screen like this one, I'll see instead of my face here, it'll show me what it looks like. So it should match up with what your image was that you put in for your video. And you can even shorten it or elongate it. If you don't want it to be 15 seconds, if you want it to be less or more or whatever, you can do that. The other cool thing that I do for my editor does is basically he takes the full frame video and he crops that down. He basically transforms it to where it's like a mini picture in picture. So even after this stuff's displaying, I'm still on camera. It's not just like my face is completely covered up. It just makes me smaller and it pulls this up until the end of the video. Does that make sense? So you can do something like that. I always just use my subscribe button. And then I've got most recent upload and best for viewer. Those are the only 2 ones that I always put on there. I let YouTube determine the best for viewer. I don't tell them what ones I want. You can, if you want to change it, if you know that you for sure want like a specific video, you can click here. And instead of best for viewer, you just click on choose specific video. And then you pick which of your videos you want displayed there. Okay. So let me discard those changes. Cards. I always try to add as many cards as I can, which you can basically put 5 per video. So if you're not familiar with how to do cards, you'll find the part in the video that you reference. Like whenever I say, and click up here, so here's the thing with cards. You almost have to think about it ahead of time that which cards you want to use and where in the video they're going to be, because it's hard to find it when you're just here, right? For me, I put it in all of my scripts when I'm writing them. If I'm going to reference another video, I put it in my script, I highlight it yellow, and then that way, when my video editor does the editing or whatever, I know when in the video that I did it. So I can just say 9 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm pointing up to the top of the screen. I come in here and I say add video. Maybe I wanted to add this one, how to join EXP, and then boom, now the video's up there. You can even, if you're, let's say that you're going to make a video and you don't yet have it on your channel, but you're going to have it soon, you can still reference it in your video and say, by the way, click my video for more information about this, and just leave the card blank for right then. But then when you do release the video, you need to go back to that video and you can add a card after the fact, as long as you remember. So it does take some, make sure you put in your notes or something that eventually when you upload that video, you need to go back and add a card for it into the previous video or one of the previous videos. So that's how you do the cards. I just leave it as that. I don't do custom message or teaser text or anything like that. I just add the card like that to mine. And again, you can do 5 cards per video. I don't add subtitles. YouTube can subtitle it themselves, but I don't create subtitles specifically. The other thing too, going back to the details, if you put in the chapter markers, in order to do a chapter marker where you break up your video into different segments, you might do something like 00. You got to always start with 00 to just say intro. If you don't do that, it won't pick it up. And then you could say 03, 24, 27, fathom. 06 at the 6 minute and 42 second mark, I talk about EXP. And then at the 9 minute and 21 second mark, I talk about both. If I actually went to it, there'll be chapter markers, so you know what those look like. So if you're going to use them, which I do think it's beneficial to use them, then that's how you do it. You got to put in you got to start and do the 0000. If you just started with like that, it's not going to work. You always have to start with the zeros. All right. So that's how you do your chapter markers there. Monetization, once you get to that point, I just turn everything on. I just let all my ads run just like that. Ad suitability. Again, when you get to that spot, you're just going to check none of the above. You're saying that it's safe for ads. You're going to say next. Oh, submit rating. There you go. Now you say next. Video elements, we already talked about that. Checks, it's going to do a little check on its own for copyright and stuff like that. Visibility, I've scheduled them as premieres. So that's how I do it. So I schedule it. So if I know that the video I want to go out on Wednesday, I'll schedule it for Wednesday at whatever time I want, and I'll set it as a premiere. So then it actually creates like a little bit of a buzz page. I don't know that it adds a whole lot of extra traffic to it, but it's just something that I do just that way people can see like what the upcoming videos are that are on the way. Yeah. So that's what I do for that setup. Any questions about the optimization process or anything like that?
How do I import the end screen template from my last video?
Well, let's just say if you want like a video, you want maybe like a video and a subscribe button and maybe like another video or something. The main thing is like getting it to line up. And so sometimes like when you make that Canva, like you might have to make it a couple times because you'll put it on here and be like, oh, the hole or the square that I made for the video is too small, or you might have wanted like a shadow over this and it's too big or too small. You just will have to play with it that first time. But once you get it, then it's easy. Then you can just import from video or import from last time and always do it over and over. All right. Next, real quick. So the other part too is that, and this isn't really like with upload defaults, but this is just promotion afterwards. That's the other important thing that you guys need to work on, especially in the beginning when YouTube is not favoring your videos right away, is you've got to be your best promoter. Put your videos anywhere and everywhere that you think, even if the traffic isn't that great. Put it on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook's not going to promote YouTube links that well, but get creative. Maybe just make it like an image, like a thumbnail, and then say, hey, I'll put a link to the video in the comments. Don't put it in the actual post. Put it in the comments. Send it out to your email list if you've got one already. Share it just manually to friends. Ask your friends to watch. I remember literally like me in the beginning, I would have AJ Maida. He'd watch all my videos and I'd go watch all of his videos just so we could get like at least one playthrough all the way through. You might have to get creative, right? But the biggest thing is getting some people to hit your videos to watch them. Hopefully you won't always have to do that, but like in the beginning, get your friends to help you out. Hey, go watch this video. Please hit the like button. Do what you got to do to get like that thing, that initial push to where YouTube has some data and then they can start promoting your videos for you. But you got to do some legwork in the beginning, more legwork than you will later. Now, like when I promote a video, I just send it to my email list, which I've got a big email list. So that helps. In the beginning though, I was doing way more. Anyways, any questions about that promotion or anything like that?
How do you split test thumbnails?
So what you're going to do there is when you log in, you have that little TubeBuddy thing up top here. You're going to click on website tools. You're going to click on A/B tests. And then you're going to say create an A/B test. And you can search for a video on your channel. So here's all my recent uploads. But let's say I wanted to do it on an old one. Buyer representation, buyer process, buyer agent process. Click on that one. Here's the standard one right here. Do I want to do a metadata test? Which that would allow me to test like the title, tags, description. The only thing I use for metadata test is if I want to test the titles against each other. But normally if I'm doing a thumbnail, you just select here, thumbnail test. How long do you want to run it for? I usually run it until it's statistically significant. So, because that will depend on how many views your video is getting. If your videos don't get that many views, it might take like a long time to get enough data to actually be like an accurate thing, right? So I would just put it on that. But it says 500 impressions. So might take a while. If you're a new channel, it might take a while to get 500 impressions. But let's say you select that one. When do you want to start it? Start test ASAP. You're going to say continue. Then you're going to put the thumbnail in here that you want to test it against. Choose file, pick the one that it goes, and then go from there. Cool. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. This concludes a series, and I'm going to be following along with you guys' journey. I can't wait to see what you guys create. Again, I said this at the very beginning. It's a process, right? This thing, it takes a long time. It takes a while. It'll get good traction. It's going to take it's like even today, I leave for a trip tomorrow. I'm going to be gone for a week. And so what was I doing on Saturday? I recorded 7 YouTube videos because I have to make it happen. The show must go on, right? That's the thing, is if you want it bad enough, if you know how good this can make your life, you'll do it. And so it's no excuses. I was in Cabo and people were like, oh yeah, normally I release 2 videos a week, except for this week because I'm in Cabo. And I'm like, you can schedule a video. If you want it bad, just do it. There's no excuses.
Did you find that batch shooting was most efficient?
I edited it myself. I didn't even batch shoot. So I couldn't tell you. Yeah, honestly, like batch shooting and getting an editor, like it made it so much easier to create more content consistently. My channel was not consistent at all up until, I don't know, like 9 months ago, because that's when I was editing and I was posting here and there sporadically, that type of thing. If you're editing yourself, I still would batch the content, just because I think it's so much faster just to sit there with, you've got your scripts in front of you, you know what you're going to say, like your camera's set up so you don't have to reset it up. Because even if you have your camera stationary, there's always still like things you've got to do, like lighting, and you got to get ready. Like even for me, that's like a thing. Like some days I don't want to get ready, but it's like, if I'm not ready, then I don't want to record a video. But if I know that I'm recording a video, I'll get ready, I'll shave, like random stuff. It's just easier. So I would still batch it, because that way, it's, if you're going to edit one day, then shoot, I don't need to get ready that day, because I'm probably going to be sitting in front of my computer for 8 hours editing, and it won't matter what I look like. I think just batching in general is going to always work more efficiently than just like one at a time. You got to really be like strong-willed and strong-minded to like batch the content and be like, all right, now I'm just going to go edit 3 videos straight. It can be done, and you don't have to necessarily do it straight. You could edit a video that day and maybe 2 the next day or something, because it's going to be there. The content will be there. But yeah, the biggest thing is just finding the workflow that works for you, but get a plan, like a video, an upload frequency, and just commit to it for yourself. Because the second that you stop doing it, like even that you miss 1 week, you might be like, oh, I still published 1 video instead of 2. Then it becomes easier to not stay committed the long term. So I say don't cheat on yourself, and make it to, if you say you're going to do a video a week, then do a video a week. If you're saying 3 videos a week, do 3 videos a week. There's a lot of times now, since I went to 3 videos a week, that I don't want to do 3 videos, but I just don't want to not, because then if I don't, then it's going to be that much easier to not do it the next time. But yeah, and then eventually, once you start getting results, it gets fun, it gets exciting. It becomes like, all right, now I know why I'm doing this. That's still not the end though. You're still going to go through writer's blocks, and you're going to go through like times where you're like, is it worth it? I'm bored, or you want to go chase something else. So there's a lot of things that are still like part of building a channel that are like outside of the normal scope of just the mechanics of do the video. But that's where it's partnering with other agents that are on YouTube. I think that's helpful, because you can talk to them, you can get out of your rut or get out of a lull or whatever. And so if I can be that person for you guys, let me know. I'm always here to help. So excited to see what you guys create. Now I want to see who's like the first channel to like 1,000 subscribers is going to be out of you guys. That's going to be a fun little thing to track. Like it's just a law of numbers, right? We had what, at least 10 solid committed people that showed up for most all of these calls. I bet you at least one of y'all shoots to like 1,000 subs in the next few months. So it'll be fun to see who that is. But y'all have a good one. Have a great rest of the week. If you need anything, let me know.
And that's a wrap on our entire YouTube series. I can't wait to see what you guys do with everything that you learned. Remember, this is a process. It takes time to get good traction. And remember, no excuses. Consistency is key. Whether you're posting 1 video a week, 2 or 3, commit to it and don't cheat on yourself. The second you miss your schedule, the easier it becomes to miss the next time. If you want to go deep on all these things related to YouTube and just your real estate business in general, then click the link in the description to have a free call with us and see if you'd be a good fit to partner with us at EXP. And if you stayed all the way to the end, then post in the comments #NNCrew, and we'll see you in the next video.